3-degree guarantee. Nailed it. Then at the end of the month, a Local 3 viewer will win the jackpot. To enter, go to local3news.com.
3-degree guarantee, presented by Warren and Griffin, your local 5-star law firm.
If you have a connection to life in Soddy, Daisy, or Montlake communities, or if you just love local history, then come on out to Pioneer Day tomorrow, November 4th, at the Soddy Daisy Museum. Steve Smith would love to see you there. He's with the Soddy Daisy Montlake Historical Society. Great to see you.
Good to see you too.
And it will not be just local folks there. You've got people coming from all over, both to enjoy and to participate, right?
That's correct. We have a group coming from Atlanta, Knoxville. We have local people that are coming. Can I make a correction?
Yeah.
What you said?
Yeah.
This is actually at the Post Tavern Historical Park and not at our museum.
Let me tell you something. It's early in the morning for me, and he is 100% right. And when we show you the information at the end of the segment, it does have Post Tavern on there. So well done, teacher. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about this, though, because the people who are coming in, you mentioned from Atlanta and Knoxville, they're reenactors in a way. So the Knoxville folks are coming in to be Minutemen?
Mountain Men.
Mountain Men.
Yeah, Mountain Men. It basically takes you back to a period prior to the Civil War era, and you know, when East Tennessee was still rural, and people banded together to you know, protect themselves. But anyway, they're coming to portray that type of people.
Then you've got some local folks who are going to be Civil War reenactors.
Correct. We're going to have a Civil War encampment, and they were with us last year, maybe 2 years ago for the first time, and they have a very good encampment, a display, and they're willing to have people come among them and ask questions, and then they have live rifle demonstrations and things like that. So it's good.
They'll be shooting off the rifles.
Correct. Yes, they will be.
And then you've got some folks coming in from Atlanta, and they're bringing like an old Wild West prison wagon.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yes, Aces and Eights, they were with us last year for the first time, and they have someone that's bringing a wagon that's made like an old jail, and so that's more for the kids than the adults, but the kids will be able to get in it and have their pictures taken in a jail.
It's very important for you to see the kids come out because they're the next generation to keep the history alive.
That's correct. Yeah, if you don't have the younger people coming on to learn, you know, how to make quilts or shingles, or see how difficult it was for people during the Civil War, then that history will basically stop with us, and it needs to be carried on.
We are about to do, we'll begin it next week, a series with Chris Young at the National Park Service, and we're going to be going to the different points of the battles for Chattanooga. So at one point we're going to end up at Orchard Knob, and Chris was telling us about this soldier who fought and this letter that he had written to his dad. Well, our coworker Chandler got in touch with the Library of Congress, and then from there got pinged to different people, but he has gotten that letter. A copy of it, not the original. But he and I were talking just the other day about how interesting it is to think that a young man wrote this letter in 1862 or 3.
Yes.
And it's still in existence now, and he was able to get his hands on it, and you'll be able to see it.
Oh, that's great.
But don't throw things away, that's my point.
Oh, yes.
Future generations are going to want them.
Yes, yes. Well, that's, you know, with our museum, of course, I know that's not the subject, but, you know, we operate a museum. They're in Soddy Daisy, and we collect artifacts, historical artifacts from that area, whether it be coal mining or the industrial pottery. So, you know, any old photograph that a person has, you know, we're willing to take it and try to preserve it, because so many of the older, you know, say receipts or maps or books or photographs have been destroyed. And I mean, you know, we got to keep the history alive.
Well, I'm going to brag on you a little bit, because I know you said that this is not to be here talking about the museum, yet to me the two go hand in hand, because they are holding on and preserving that history. But I had asked you earlier if people have learned of you now and they're kind of seeking you out. You began this out of your own love of history, but you're finding a lot of people who share that love, and they are seeking you out.
Yes, well, we actually started the Historical Association 8 years ago. But the city of Soddy Daisy actually had started prior to that. But when we formed the Historical Association, Then we partnered with the city beginning in 2016, and you know, from a historical aspect, and yes, it's very important, whether it be the museum or these live demonstrations that we'll have tomorrow, to there again carry the history forward.
So it's an all-day thing tomorrow?
Yes, it starts at 9 and we'll end at 4.
People are going to get hungry.
Yes, the Saudi Daisy City is not going to provide food like they normally do, but we have a chuck wagon that's coming, and we've not had them before, but they'll provide period food there. It's actually served out of a chuck wagon.
Wow.
So it'll be good.
It's going to be authentic all day long.
Correct, yes.
Okay, it's a free event for people.
Correct, it is free, yes.
Are there things that they can purchase when they're there if they want to take home a souvenir or anything?
We'll have the Historical Association, we'll have a booth, and there are things there that, whether it be a hat like I'm wearing, or a t-shirt, or history books that have been written on the, you know, around Saudi Daisy. But yes, there'll be some things.
Okay, and before I let you run, tell me again the story of Poe's Tavern.
When you're talking about the original?
I guess.
Okay.
I don't know either one.
Okay. Haston Poe moved from Appomattox, Virginia in about 1816 and built a tavern, a house there in Daisy, and he lived there during the Civil War. He had a large plantation. He had about 2,600 acres. In 1913, then it was taken down to the subfloor, and then it was rebuilt basically as it is today. And it's still there. It's across from the what is it now? The Truist Bank in Daisy. And then in 2011, then we rebuilt a model similar, you know, to the original structure, and that's where we'll be tomorrow.
Okay, so we're not at the original one, we're
no.
at the remodel.
Correct.
So here's where you go. Since I had it wrong to begin with, let me correct it now. So it's Poe's Tavern at 9835 Dayton Pike.
Correct.
In Saudi Daisy. And then you can always learn more about the museum and the Historical Association at the website you see there. Go have fun. Who would ever thought you get to eat out of a chuck wagon?
Well, that's true.
pretty cool.
It'll be new for us also.
Why are women everywhere raving about Sono Bello?
Today is